Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in today. Before I start, I'd like to apologize to my YouTube viewers for keeping you waiting. During this time I had lots of work from school, lots of projects and other stuff to do. But today I finally found the time to do my videos. So our video today will be about buying your first DSLR. Not much of a problem if you can't see the screen here. This is just for my own notes to keep me not sidetracked on different things. So first off, there are lots of brands such as Nikon, Canon, Sony, Olympus and Pentax. The major brands are the first three: Nikon, Canon and Sony. So some factors to consider to pick your first DSLR: your budget or your price you wish to pay for your camera. For most people starting off in photography, they might not have a lot of money to invest in photography equipment, so their budget might be low. However, for people who are investing into photography, they might set their budget a bit higher so that they have more choices regarding lenses and other accessories like flashes. Category of camera: do you want a camera of entry level, mid-range, consumer level, or a pro level? Your budget will decide on which kind of camera you will be able to get. Just remember that lenses are often more important than your camera body, so you're better off spending more money in lenses than the camera body itself. Sensor size. On the market, the camera market, there used to be two kinds of sensor sizes: a full frame size or a 35mm film size sensor size, and the APS-C cropped 1.5 or 1.6 in Canon cropped sensor size, which gives you a crop of your marked focal length on your lens. So your 18mm lens will become a 28, or more accurate, 27.5mm. Full frame, it doesn't give you any crop, and it gives you the focal length that is marked on your lens. But full frame lenses are more, full frame camera bodies are more expensive than the others, and only certain types of lenses can go with full frame cameras, unlike other sensor sizes. Now, last month or so, Canon came up with another size of sensor called the APS-H size sensor, which is used in their 1D Mark IV. It gives you a 1.3 times crop, which is midway between full frame and the 1.5 times crop. Different kinds of sensor sizes. Each has their own goods and bads, so you might find more about that on the net, because it's too difficult and too much to say on a video. The ISO performance, that is the sensitivity of your sensor. The higher the ISO number you go, the quicker the shutter speed you'll get, but the more color grains or noise you'll get in your image, which is not pleasing. For general users and for beginners, or even daily shooting, or like wedding photographers, you don't need such a high ISO. The maximum you will need will be 25,600. That's the maximum you need, the absolute maximum. AF point system, that is very important for everyone if you like using autofocus. The main reasons people now complain about the camera of not focusing accurately is because they're using Canon. Now, no offense for Canon users, but in my opinion, I think that Canon has a very ancient autofocus system. They came out with their new 60D about 2 or 3 months ago, and they still kept their old 9-point autofocus system from the 50D, which was like 3 or 4 years ago. But Nikon released the new D7000 and put in the new 39 points autofocus system. On Nikon higher end models like the D300S, the D700, the D3 series, they've got 51-point autofocus. Now that is a lot of difference from a 9-point or 11-point, from 39 points or 51 points autofocus. If you think that, oh yeah, one more thing. If you are into sports and you like sports photography, it is very important that you get a camera that has a good AF system with decent amount of AF points, and you need them to be accurate. And in my sense, I would go for Nikon for that. Megapixels. The reason that I didn't mention this in the first place is because megapixels isn't that important. This is often a big misconception in the photography world, especially for beginners. The more megapixels you get, of course the more details you get in your image, but also you will get more noise in high ISO performance, because every pixel you get in the sensor, you get an ISO grain dot when you go up in high ISO, so that is not very pleasing. The most you need if you want to print A4 sizes or A3 sizes of photos, the maximum will be like 12 megapixels. Burst rates. Again, if you like sports photography, you need burst rates. That means how many photos you can take in a second. For sports photography, I recommend people to get cameras that can do more than 6 frames per second, so you won't lose any shots or any funny moments. And the last of all, the video feature. Now, I haven't been very happy with people who use DSLRs for video shooting, but now I understand that DSLRs can let you create a lot of creativity in terms of making a video, and it's a good start for people who don't have the money to invest in a camcorder and a DSLR. But you have to remember that there are 2 key things you have to remember for using your DSLR as a camcorder. First, you want a camera which has an external mic input or output, I don't know. Output, yeah. So you can plug in an external mic to have stereo, better quality sound. And you will want a fast lens, a lens with a big aperture. So you let lots of light in, and you have a brighter screen, so your movie or your video will be more pleasant. Fast lens will mean that you need at least a 2.8 lens. A good recommendation would be the 51.8 from both Canon and Nikon, which is around $100. So after all this, what are some good choices for your next or for your first DSLR? If you like Nikon, I'll definitely go or recommend or buy the D7000 now, at this very moment. Why? because it is relatively cheap in terms of what it gives you. The camera is very good for value for what it gives you. I'm not going to talk about the specs here because it's too boring. You can find that on the Nikon official website. But I'll definitely recommend that camera. You have to think about whether to get the camera with the kit lens or the camera body itself. For me, I'll get the camera body itself and buy a better lens, a better lens. But you might be different from me. You might not have the budget to get another lens or buy a better lens on your own, or you don't know how to choose. So you might as well just stick with the kit. If you like Canon, the 550D would be a good choice. Although, yeah, one more thing to mention. In the Nikon D7000, there are 39 autofocus points, where in the Canon 550D there are only 11 autofocus points. Now that's a big difference. Yeah, that's a big difference. There's one time I tried out my friend's 550D and I found that the camera autofocus system is not very accurate. It doesn't focus on the thing you want to focus, even though you're in the focus range. So yeah, that's the problem. The 550D is good. Is only the good choice if you like video shooting. It gives you lots of advantages over your camera controls and the frames per second in terms of video shooting, like 1080p at 30 frames per second, which Nikon only offers 1080p at 24 frames per second in the D7000, which is their first camera to have this HD video 1080p recording. The 550D also has an external mic input, like the D7000, which is good if you want quality audio. I hope this doesn't bore you out too much, and if you have any further questions, please proceed to my website, which I'll give you the link below, or just leave me a comment or send me a message in YouTube, or send me an email to my email. Yeah. So until next time, this has been Longtin, and thank you for watching. Thank you. Bye.